It's our third evening here in Nebraska, and Jake and I are going back into the same area that we hunted the first day. We tried a different spot this morning and basically just got rained out. We saw some deer, but the habitat wasn't quite as good as this spot and then the other spot that we're hunting between here and where we were this morning. We're sticking to the places where we've seen the most deer. We drove through here late in the morning and there were still deer milling around out in the marsh out there. So we figure we're probably gonna get into some deer. We're gonna try our same tactics, still hunting into the wind along the top of this ridge as the deer coming up out. And ideally, we're gonna get to the place where we saw a small buck and a doe a couple days ago coming up out of the marsh. We think if we can get to that point, we got a pretty good chance of pinching deer down right off the corner there. There's kind of a funnel there, and we feel like if we can get to that point, there's probably a good chance some deer are gonna come out of there right at last light. So tonight, Brody's trying something a little bit different. He's just gonna drive around to a couple of these places where there's really good bedding areas that he can see from the road, and he's just gonna glass those areas. They're spots that we think are deer habitat, but we just don't know how many deer are living in there. But he's gonna be able to learn a lot from a distance tonight. So at the very least, we should get some good scouting in, and we're gonna learn a lot more about this place by putting some boots on the ground and covering a lot of this bedding area, trying to read the sign, seeing where these bucks are going to bed, and then we should be able to pursue them a little bit better in the next couple of days.
We've had a little bit of a change in our plans for this evening. We got up on top here. We could see deer starting to pop out down along the marsh edge. So we're sitting here up on top, kind of observing that, and also looking down this valley to my left. The reason that we're doing that is because we're pretty sure this is where those bucks came down the hill 2 mornings ago. And we saw a lot of buck sign going up out of that valley. There was rubs coming up out of that valley. We saw several of them on the way in. And we feel this is a really good pinch. This valley is really gradual going down to where these deer are bedding. And right in front of us is where it becomes really steep. So we think that's why those deer are coming up out of that valley right there. It's really easy for them to walk up versus coming right up over the steep stuff. There is a little valley to our right, and we just saw a doe come up out of there. She was probably within 100 yards of us. We've still got at least an hour left. We're just gonna hang tight. Hopefully once the sun starts going down, we're a little bit more exposed. We're just getting the sun beating right down on us, but we're close to their bedding here. Hopefully some deer come up out of this valley. Well, it's getting close to the end of legal light here, and we didn't actually see that many deer on our side of the lake, but we saw a bunch on the other side, which is good. I didn't know that it looked that good over there. There's a lot of bedding habitat. There was a lot of does that got up out of there. I never saw any bucks, but either way, they weren't in the same valley that we were in. We got down along the edge and walked through some burnt cedars. Saw a lot of really good deer sign. From now on, we're just gonna have to either be really aggressive or just wait back and wait for a big one to get up and then try to pattern them that way. But to me, it seems like these deer are not bedding in the same spot every day. There's so many different bedding locations and so much of the same stuff that it's hard to guess that the deer is going to be back in the same spot. These deer can just kind of bed wherever they want on any given day, and I can't really seem to find any consistency with wind direction of where they're bedding or where they're leaving the bed. It seems pretty darn random. I'm going to make up a plan in the morning. Brody's pulling in somewhere down there. Saw him just a little bit ago, so hopefully he saw some deer and we can make a good game plan for the morning, but we'll be back after him.